In a development that will not be named by a builder that will not be named, I had a client go under contract for a house. Myself and my client were out of town. They started the framing. He goes up to the house the day before I do and says, Taylor, I think they're building my house on the wrong lot.
Hey guys, it is Cole Watkins and Taylor Goldenthal with the Bridge Group EXP. Today, I wanted to introduce you to Taylor. He is one of the agents, the top producing agents on the team, and it is very important to hear his story, to hear it's extremely encouraging as well to hear his story. So much, so much to go through.
It was a crazy start for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's crazy right now. I'm just
still different kind of crazy.
Yeah, but Monday was crazy.
Monday was crazy. We'll get into that later.
We will. But we are drinking Trust Generations.
Yep.
Thank you, Jordan Martin, for the recommendation. Thank you for this bottle. I think you got me this bottle. But let's go ahead and start. So, Taylor, where are you now? We're gonna do one of those. You know how the movie starts and he says, "You see that guy right there."
2 years previously.
Yeah, you see that guy that I bet you're wondering how he got there.
Yeah,
you know?
How did I get here?
So we're wondering, where are you right now?
Right now, hit my 2-year mark for my license being active, if you will. Started in the industry as a transaction coordinator, but I've been on the team for 1.5 years as a full-time agent at this point. Be 2 years into September. Busy as can be. Thankful to be busy in this business for sure, but it's been a lot of fun.
So you joined the Bridge Group in 2019, September 2019.
September 2019.
Full time.
Full-time.
Before that, you were doing what's called transaction coordination, which is still within real estate.
Definitely.
But you were more so on the documentation side and
all
filling
the
out
back
the contract.
end. Not the fun part. In my opinion.
No, like I don't.
Some people really enjoy it, not me.
No,
not as much.
You were
not
really
as much.
good at it.
I was pretty good at it, and it was great to learn like the ins and outs of the business previously in that aspect. Because one thing that I realized quickly as an agent, a lot of agents don't know contracts. They don't know how they should be filled out properly. They don't know all of the steps, and just being completely versed in the process, both the front end and the back end, I think it's paid dividends so far.
Absolutely. And, if you're an agent watching this, know one of the first things that you need to do in production is hire a very good transaction coordinator, someone that knows what they're doing and is going to save you time. Now, a real estate agent, doesn't get paid to write contracts. And so, and now you don't write your own contracts and you have tons of contracts to write. But instead that allows you to do listing appointments, to prospect, to do what you did today, which we'll get to later on. But just to be a whole lot more productive in your seat on the bus. So awesome. Well, and you just told me from March of 2020 to March of 2021,
22 closed sales, either on the buy side or the sale side. Yep.
Okay, and then the pending, sold and pending this year is what?
13, I believe.
Yeah.
Waiting on an offer that I have out right now to see if we hear back on that, and working with quite a few buyers actively. So
pretty insane. Your goal this year is 28 transactions.
28.
That's not including rentals. That is 28 bought and sold, right? Purchase, buyers, sellers. That is absolutely incredible for really your second full entire calendar year in real estate.
Yeah. It sounded like a really daunting goal when I said it last year, and after March with 6 closings in March, it started feeling pretty tangible at that point, and now I'm just really excited to get through that and hopefully surpass it. We'll see.
Well, we always talk about that too, right? We always talk about how the first 2 quarters, the first and second quarter are going to be a little bit slower, right? However, you managed to close 6 properties in 1 month.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
In the first 2 quarters.
That was pretty cool. My first 4 years, 15 all year, and that's fantastic. 6 in 1 month was pretty remarkable. I was a busy guy. I think I drove 5,000 miles that month. Yeah.
That's a whole oil change.
No, it was. I have to get my car serviced 3 times a year now.
That's insane. No, but the thing is that, you have those first 2 quarters are usually a lot slower. So with that being said, and you already having 13, closed and pending, almost 14, at this point in the year, we know that the third and fourth quarter are substantially busier. And I have a feeling that this year is going to be so much busier than last year, given COVID and the shutdown and everything else. That being said, I think you're going to crush 28. I think you're going to surpass 30 transactions this year. So cheers to that.
Cheers to that.
That's really awesome.
Thank you.
All right. Well, so let's go ahead and get to know Taylor. What is your background? So you are relatively new to the entire industry, already killing it. But what industry did you come out of?
Yeah, so I thought I was going to work in luxury hotels forever. When I was 18 years old, I got a job at a hotel locally in Sugarland. Went to college for that, hotel restaurant management school at U of H. 8.5 years in that industry. Opened a luxury property downtown, managed a staff of 40 employees, team members, quite a few programs and whatnot.
A lot of crazy stories.
A lot of crazy stories like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, no, I've heard several of them.
I used to joke with myself that I'd write a book of like short stories of all my experiences. They're all still up here, maybe one day.
Yeah.
But for right now, I'm a little too busy for that.
Yeah, just leave names out, I guess.
Leave names out. Yeah, exactly.
Good deal. So how do you feel like that industry, do you feel like that industry prepared you? And if so, how did it prepare you for real estate?
Absolutely. I think it did. A variety of reasons. First and foremost, I got into hospitality. I thought it was an interesting business, first of all. You'd think whatever you do is interesting. But the ability to create memories for people was such an important thing. You always remember any trip you've gone on, whether it's for business or for pleasure, those vacations, weddings, etc. So just having that ability to create that experience for somebody really translates into real estate.
Yeah.
What is it? I think the average person in Texas will buy or sell a home 7 times in their lifetime. They're always going to remember that.
Yeah.
Hopefully for good reasons. And the ability to make such an impact and to create those special moments for people, it goes a long way.
Yeah, and I think Taylor, what Taylor does a phenomenal job at is not only just the service and the communication, but also creating those little memories throughout. And I know that you had just met someone the other day. Their dog ran out the front door.
Happy,
yeah,
named Happy. Yeah,
and so and just the fact that you remember the dog's name, I think that really has a lot to do with the industry that you came from, and your drive to make it truly a 5-star experience, positive experience for them. And then what'd you do after that? You went and
so she was interested in seeing what her house is worth, wanted to move to the Heights. I've been doing quite a bit of work in the Heights lately, so I let her know and introduced myself to her dog, Happy. Asked if I could bring comparative market analysis back on her property later that week. Came back by 2 days later with her CMA, a thank you note, and then a little dog biscuit for Happy that I got from some boutique dog bakery.
Which I think, that just goes like this is your business,
Absolutely.
Right? You're not just a realtor. You're not just a real estate agent. Taylor is a business owner, and that shows. So I think that also, I will say this, is that I'm very glad that Taylor has come over to the dog side. And
yes, I have a dog now as well.
Yes.
Ellie, a little puppy.
Ellie? What kind of, what is it?
A Cavanese, so 3/4 Havanese, 1/4 King Charles Cavalier.
Okay,
Yeah,
very nice.
yeah. She's adorable.
Yeah.
She's adorable, yeah.
Excellent. So along with Ellie, you also have like 6, 7, 8 cats?
It feels like that at times, but no, 2 cats. I've got Jeffrey,
He's deaf.
He's deaf. I found out after the fact. I adopted him pretty young. He was 6 weeks old. I thought he was just a jerk the first few weeks. And then one day the fire alarm goes off.
Most cats are, yeah.
I thought it was just very on brand. And the fire alarm goes off. He sleeps through it. And I'm like, I think he's deaf. So I thought there might have been something wrong with him. Took him to the vet. They're like, no, he's just deaf. He's fine though. His ears are good. I'm like, okay. Now he's Deaf Jeff. So
okay.
It worked out pretty well. And then there's, I have the weirdest animal stories. And then there's Timmy, the girl. I thought Timmy was a boy when I got Timmy as a kitten.
Strange.
I didn't look too closely, I guess. She's really fuzzy. So I went and had to get her, who I thought him, neutered. The vet looks at me kind of with a smile and says, well, I think Timmy needs to be spayed. So I jokingly looked at her and I was like, you just assumed my cat's gender.
Yeah.
So I saw the look on her face. I immediately started laughing to break the ice again. And,
yeah.
But anyway, Timmy the girl and Deaf Jeff. Ellie's pretty normal.
Ellie.
Yeah, Ellie's pretty normal.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's good. So going back, so how did you start off in transactions?
Yep.
That led to being or brokering real estate. how did you even come to real estate or the real estate industry in general to begin with?
Really, a few things. I got pretty burnt out working at the hotel. I had opened that property right after Hurricane Harvey hit, number 2 in command for the operations, and 70-hour work weeks, pretty competitive downtown environment. And I just wasn't getting that quality of life for what I was putting into it. I had great staff, great co-managers. It was a lot of fun, but I just felt like I was in some sort of routine, and this is what I have. This is what I'm going to be doing for however long. And I was just wondering, I felt stuck, and I had met quite a few number of people in the real estate industry, a lot of conversations, some over tequila, such as this, and realized that my skill set wasn't one-sided and could be applied in a variety of different ways, such as real estate. When I'd met so many people that had nice qualities of life, loved what they did, strong passion, and were excellent at it, including yourself, and just kind of gave me that nudge. Got into the transaction side, learned the back end of the business. Eventually, I longed for that human connection and needed to get away from just the screen, and met with you and Kelly. What was that? End of August, I think, 2019, and joined in September.
Good deal. Yeah. No. Okay. So I want to keep that same frame of mind as far as what attracted you to it, right? What attracted you to real estate? What did you, I guess, when you first started, or when you were laying at bed at night and you were like, man, I'm fixing to go into a completely different industry. Do you feel like the agent that you envisioned yourself being, that you're kind of going in that direction?
If you would have asked me that question even a year ago with some moderate success in my first full year, I would have said no, but I could confidently say since about end of last year, yes, I'm getting there. We're closer every day, and also that bar is being raised a little bit every day as well.
Absolutely.
I'm constantly challenging myself, trying to explore more new areas. No transactions are the same. All the experiences are different.
Yeah.
Something to learn and grow from every time, but getting there day by day.
Cool. So, all right, flashing back, first 6 months.
Yep.
How did the first 6 months of real estate treat you?
To put it lightly, terrible. It was pretty awful. Personal things in life going on, family health issues and whatnot. And it was a really challenging time. You always hear, hey, you have to go out and get it. There's no paycheck coming unless you go out and find that paycheck. And I did a lot of the things that I felt like I needed to be doing. I made the most important decision, what I think, which is joining a team that invested in their realtors and gave them the tools to succeed. Shadowing y'all, getting marketing plans and things of that nature. So I went out and I started doing those things, but I didn't, to put it lightly, I didn't make any money in my first 5 months except for a few leases. And it was really tough, but kept at it over time. We'll get into a little bit of that before I started seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, but kept at it, and now here we are. I wouldn't change it for anything.
Yeah. One thing about Taylor that I would encourage everyone that is watching this is that Taylor, during that first 5 months, during that first 6 months, if anyone could make excuses about like, hey, like, why, what's going on? Why aren't you prospecting? It would be Taylor and Chelsea. Now Chelsea literally had a tumor in her jaw.
Thank goodness her results came back good.
Good. Yeah. She's good,
essentially perfectly fine now. Yeah.
But also Taylor, for many reasons, life happened. And, that is, I wouldn't wish that on anyone, but the thing is that you went through it.
Yep.
And we're going to come up on, let's go to December 2019. Whereas that was like our, first 4 months in real estate.
Yeah, literally. I didn't even made it to my fourth full month at that point.
Yeah.
But, one of the main things that was going on in my life at that time was my mother diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in October, about a month or so after I joined the team. So that my head wasn't really in it at all for quite a while when I had first started. So that coupled with other things in life, I really felt like I needed some sort of stability, and I wasn't converting my leads. I wasn't generating much business. I was doing the things that I felt like I needed to be doing, but I was doing them with what I could really commit as far as my time and my
Yep.
because I give everything. I put my heart and my soul, my mind and my body into what I do.
Yeah.
And I didn't have much to give then. So I was looking for that comfortability, looking for that safe paycheck so I wouldn't have to have that uncertainty anymore. I'd actually lined up 2 interviews, one at the previous hotel that I had worked at, one through a coworker that I had at that same job that moved on to another property. And yeah, I had 2 interviews lined up. I gave you a call, said, hey, need to talk to you whenever you have a chance. I don't think I can do this anymore. We went, I think the very next day, we went to spot in La Centera, grabbed some breakfast. Dish Society, grabbed some breakfast. And you were like, give me 3 months. Give it 3 more months. Anything you need, you let me know. And I'll ask you again if you want to quit, but give it 3 more months. I know there's great things in the future. And I canceled those interviews. I stayed. I still had my December and my January were much more of the same. Converted. It was really important to me too. I converted my first open house lead, and it meant a lot that and ended up getting them under contract. Closed them in February of 2020 by that point.
Yeah.
And it meant a lot for me that my first piece of business came from somebody that had no idea who I was.
Yes.
And I was able to convert them as just a professional that they walked into an open house.
Which is crazy because a lot, if you look at your transactional sources, a lot of it now is through like your sphere, social media, like the crazy, like innovative stuff you do on social media gets like business, you know, it does. It generates leads.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fantastic. A lot of and in this business too, I mean, it's who you know, and those relationships that you form and that you keep and that you nurture. And I've been fortunate to have well over half of my business either come from my sphere of influence, people that I know, or referrals from within that sphere of influence.
But it's also hustling, right? And I don't everyone throws that word around loosely, especially today. They throw hustling around so much when they really shouldn't, because the majority of people don't know what the hell that hustling means. But I'll say this, and Taylor mentioned it earlier, he joined a team. Taylor is very coachable. Now, in that first segment of him, a lot more happened during that time. So yes, naturally he would be distracted. But I said, give me 3 more months.
Yep.
Let me coach you. Like, let's just do these things. And literally, we've talked about door knocking, and we'll get to this here in a little bit. But literally, like one of the members on our team, Nick, Nick had and this is salt in the wound, but Nick had a listing out in Pearland, and he was like, well, I don't want to go all the way out to Pearland and and door knock and everything. I think he was going to do the open house, or he did the open house. But Taylor was like, I'll go out there, door knock. I think you got how many pieces of business?
3 listings and a buyer.
So
as well as a 5th buyer, actually, who's going to be getting pre-approved at the end of the summer, actually. So 5 pieces of business.
5 pieces of business from one of our pillars of lead generation. And you know, Taylor is a prime example of being coachable. A lot of people get into real estate, and which is technically it is running your own business. I mean, really, it's entrepreneurship, pilots, like captain of your own ship. Like those words are associated with realtor because
Definitely.
you are essentially operating your own business. You eat what you kill, right? You go out, you're not going to get paid unless you set up the buyer or the seller or whatever and get that commission check. So I do want to say that Taylor is extremely coachable. Whenever we say, hey, like this is how you door knock, right?
Yep.
Let's go out there more than once or twice, and then he's just pulling listings left and right and pulling business. And even today you were out showing a buyer because of someone's door you knocked on.
Yep, exactly.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, go out. It's tried and true. I mean, if you go out and do it, there's no such thing as an original thought, people say.
Yeah.
All of them have been done as far as the sort of different prospecting methods. Find what you enjoy and master it.
Yeah. So if someone's sitting here watching this today and they're feeling maybe in that similar situation, they're maybe they've had their real estate license for 4, 6, 8 months. Maybe they're coming to their first full year in real estate and they've done a couple leases, but they maybe put an offer in and it didn't go through, it busted out, whatever. And they're getting discouraged and they want to quit. What would be your advice to them?
A few things really. Patience prevails, obviously. One thing that I noticed as well, people can see desperation. So if you're out there and you're just desperate to sell something, to do anything, I mean, I've probably talked to my clients out of sales before and out of putting in an offer on something before, just because, hey, this isn't the right one. Trust me, this is something better for you out there. So I'd say don't be desperate. People can tell. Treat yourself like a business owner. Operate as if you own your own business and that you are a business. That's probably the biggest jump forward that I took this year, was thinking as a business owner rather than just thinking of a realtor on the Bridge Group.
Yes.
But I'd say really patience. People can sense desperation, so be confident in yourself.
Man, that's big. That's what Tom Ferry always talks about.
Yeah.
Tom Ferry calls it commission breath.
Yeah, commission breath. That's the phrase.
Do not have commission breath.
No.
I was talking to another agent about that the other day, and this agent did very well. I told him, you need to have an event. You're a brand new agent. You need to have an event. You need to start gathering contact information to start building your database. But at the event, I said, you're going to have a strong urge to let everyone know that you're a realtor.
Yep.
It was a wine and cheese event.
Oh yeah.
But don't go around and say like, hey, I'm a realtor. If you need to buy or sell, I'm your I'm your girl, like this and that and the other. What happens? That takes over. That desperation takes over. And you know what? We had a post event call, and she said, I was definitely desperate.
People can tell. I mean, it can be off-putting. I always have this two little phrases that I like to use anytime I'm really meeting with a client. I'm doing a buyer consultation, listing appointment, whatever it might be. I'm very service oriented rather than sales focused.
Yes.
I'm service focused, and in any sales job really, because ultimately this is a sales job. But we're here to provide so much more than that. So if you offer service and you're service focused, sales will always follow.
Yeah, you can stop the video right now.
Yeah,
I mean,
done.
yeah.
No, I mean, here, just an example. I was tagged by a friend and someone who I helped sell and buy last year in a Facebook post. Someone asked, they have a townhouse in the Heights they need to sell, and they were asking for realtor suggestions. A few people responded, "Ooh, me, I'd love to help sell your house." And the body of this woman's paragraph was, "I'm not sure if I want to sell or rent. I'm looking to pick someone's brain." So I don't think I've heard back quite yet. It was a few hours ago, but I was the only one on that said, "Hey, I'd be happy to run you an analysis both on selling and on renting it. See what makes the most sense for you. Here's my email address. Love to hear from you."
Yeah.
And just offering that value right off the bat. Of course, I'd much prefer to sell it than help her rent it out.
Yeah.
I mean, money is a motivator when it comes down to it. Not the only one, but
Yeah,
just to
absolutely.
say, hey, I'm not going to try to talk you into selling it. I'm going to go over both options, and we'll see which one makes the most sense.
Well, you just had one, a townhome right next door to the one that you just sold.
Yep.
And you told me like, hey, look, I got to tell the seller it's going to be better for her to rent this property than to sell it.
From what she purchased it for,
Right.
She's not going to net much of anything. She doesn't need it. She doesn't need it to make her next purchase. I was showing her some properties earlier today in the Heights,
Yeah.
actually. I was like, you're right. I mean, it's in Spring Branch. There's going to be a ton more development over the next couple of years. If you don't need to sell it, and she had a tenant lined up and everything already, I said, hold on to it. We'll sell it in a few years. It's totally fine.
If you have a commission breath or you're desperate or whatever else, that agent is going to try to push and push and push that client to make a bad decision. And at the end of the day, that client making that bad decision is going to hold it against that real estate agent and never use them again. Nope. And for us, relationships over transactions. So
100%.
Yeah, I love it. That's we really could stop it, but we're not going to. We're not going to stop it. All right. So biggest wins, biggest lessons, biggest wins.
Yeah. Biggest lessons, first of all, don't start celebrating just when you get some verbal acceptance, especially in this tough market. Don't share possible news with clients, whether you're assisting them on a sale or a buy. If someone texts you and says, "Hey, I've got a full price offer coming in your way," as far as I'm concerned, I have nothing.
Yeah.
Not until I have a signed offer with the pre-approval letter or proof of funds. So I had some hard lessons there, letting clients know either, hey, I think your offer got accepted, or hey, I've got a full price offer coming in when I didn't at that time.
Yeah.
It all ended up working out at the end of the day. But definitely don't overstep it and start celebrating a victory when it hasn't happened yet.
In the reverse, wouldn't you say the reverse is true too, as far as we've been through so many of these situations to where you'll call me and say, "Hey, this is what's going down," right?
Yeah.
And it just seems like this mountain of like a anxiety or like something that can like really destroy a deal. But I would say 90% of the time it ends up going through. We find a solution to it.
Always.
But the client is probably the one that is pushing that anxiety or like really making a mess of things. But wouldn't you say the opposite is true as well? Is like most of the time that that's not really, it works itself out, right? In this industry, if you know the right channels and you don't give up.
Yeah.
A lot of times, whenever we're on the phone, we figure something out.
Oh, there's a solution to every problem.
There really
is.
Just
have to find it.
And I might not know the answer, but Stacy might know the answer. Allison, Saba, someone knows the answer. We just got to figure it out. So
most definitely.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Biggest win.
I've got two pretty recent ones, actually.
Nice.
Biggest wins for my clients, really, which a big win for a client is a big win for me.
Yeah.
There was clients in Greatwood that helped them purchase in Greatwood. I'd met them about a year prior in an open house, and multiple offer situation, beautiful one-story house out in Greatwood. We came in, we weren't the highest netted offer. Someone had outbid us by a few grand is what I came to find out. But the way our offer was presented, how clean it was, thank you to our transaction coordinator team.
Yes.
It was a clean offer, and I really sell myself to the listing agent anytime I'm representing a buyer, especially in this market. So
how do you do that?
Having them be introduced to the lender first and foremost. Hey, the lender is going to be very communicative throughout the entire process, as am I. I have a team, by the way, included in this email is my transaction coordinator, here to assist with anything if you can't reach me. And then just selling my clients and selling our offer, highlighting, hey, this is a really good offer. This is what we're doing. We expect that this is going to be among, like you said, anticipate this is going to be one of your stronger offers. If there's something I can do to win for my client, I'd love to hear from you. And I hope to have the chance to do business with you. Selling myself, selling my clients, introducing them to all parties. And really, there's 48,000 real estate agents in the city of Houston.
Yeah.
Letting them know that I'm not just any one of those 48,000.
Right.
I do this full time. This is my career. You can call me nights, evenings, weekends, whatever. And I'm going to get this thing done. My clients are very committed. So just selling ourselves in that aspect adds a lot of value, more value than just $2,000 or $3,000, sometimes even more depending on particular contract structures.
So you gave them a sense of certainty.
Yep.
And you gave them a sense of security.
Yep.
And I think that goes, especially in this market. When we're making this video, this market, 1.4 months of inventory, like
That's
extremely low. But giving another agent a sense of, that is representing a seller, a sense of certainty and security that's the way to go.
Yeah.
And if anyone knows how to do this, it's Taylor. Taylor has done an amazing job on our team with getting in this market his buyers like thousands, tens of thousands. You got someone $35,000.
$35,000 in equity.
Yeah.
We closed it in April.
Yeah. I mean, that's absolutely unheard of. Getting full asking price is unheard of in this market, but you're getting that and lower.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, like this Greatwood one that I was just telling you about, we ended up beating out multiple offers. Other offers netted higher than us. I got our repairs taken care of. Appraisal came back. They made $15,000 in equity on there's a mid 300s price point in this market. It's just crazy. And then the other one, good buddy of mine named Tino from my old jiu-jitsu gym, got him under contract in Oak Forest, $35,000 in equity. We ended up having to negotiate kind of a sketchy repair with a shower issue. And the listing agent says, I can't believe that we have to get this done after y'all got so much on that appraisal. And I said, well, thank you.
Yeah.
We appreciate you getting it done.
It was like a $9,000 job.
$9,000 repair job. Yeah. Lesson there as well. New construction, get an inspection. It was pretty apparent that the sellers didn't do that, or this would have been uncovered before they purchased the house new. Custom built in Oak Forest, missing a shower pan, so that was pretty rough.
Every time. If you were my client, if you're Taylor's client, if you're anyone's client, and you're buying a new construction house, especially right now, while corners are being cut, lumber is being like outrageously overpriced.
Demand is so high.
Yeah, labor is short. Corners will be cut. Make sure that you have an inspector check that house. There could be something outrageous like a shower pan not even installed.
Yeah. If you need any referrals, we have some great inspectors that we know.
Wonderful inspectors.
Fantastic inspectors.
Saved us a lot. Saved our clients a lot of money as well. Okay. So coming into real estate, like for me, for example, I realized, and I did in previous occupations before, but I realized that communication was probably one of the greatest skills that I needed to really learn and grow and hone and continue to grow in real estate. But what are some of the skills that maybe as you've come into real estate that you had, but maybe you've learned to better, or you didn't have and you've learned to gain being a real estate professional?
Definitely. Patience is one.
Okay.
I was a pretty impatient person when I started this business, and I've learned patience is key in all of this, mainly just because I'm not the one physically buying or selling the house. So while I myself am emotionally invested in anything that I do, I need to be patient. I need to be the rudder to the ship that keeps everything calm and on course. So I've really had to hone in on my patience skills. The second thing, and arguably probably more important, is to listen more than I talk. I love to talk. Anybody that knows me, I talk quite a bit, and it's something that I work on a daily basis. Listening more than I talk, it pays itself dividends in this. Ultimately, I mean, we're here to listen to our clients, understand their needs. You're not going to understand your clients' needs, their wants, their desires, their deal breakers, unless you are listening more than you're talking.
Man, so that is huge in sales. Very similar. When I say communication, a lot of that meant listening, active listening. There's listening and hearing.
Yep.
Right. You can hear the words or the sounds that are coming out of someone's mouth, but you might not be listening to the content that's coming out of it. And I learned that way early on that sales is not. It's not like what you see on TV. It's not on Suits. It's not $1 Million Listing. It's not the negotiating back and forth. You are going to negotiate the most with your own clients most of the time. But at the same time, what I've learned is listening and asking the right questions is way better than just rattling off a gauntlet of just information or whatever else. And I think that even in our open houses, even our prospecting, our scripting, a lot of it's just asking questions.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same thing in this market, how I'm able to consistently get my buyers great deals in a really competitive seller's market. Agents will tattle on themselves all the time too.
Yes.
When I'm planning on submitting an offer for a client, I will get on the phone with them, even if I have to wait hours. And I'll ask them some questions. And generally speaking, I'm going to get some great insight as to how I can win this house for my client. And asking those right questions and listening.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. No, I think that there are so many nuggets of information in this interview, in this discussion. But I mean, it's just really raw. Like that information is, if you take that, that's going to save you years of trouble. And you're right. Think of how many people that don't have that bird's eye view or that perspective of shut up, like listen. And then ask the right questions, and then continue to listen, and then go off of that.
And if you know me personally, you know that's a challenge. It really is. It's a challenge for me. Don't get me wrong. It's tough, but it's something better every day.
Yeah,
you know?
Awesome. So talking about maybe just going into lead generation. On the Bridge Group, we always say lead generation is the queen bee of our business. What are some of your, and we do have 5 pillars, on the Bridge Group.
Please
as
don't
far
quiz
as
me right now.
So I'm gonna need you to in alphabetical order. No, we have 5 pillars, but not everyone. And I tell people embrace 2 or 3 of those. But what are some of the lead generation tactics that you prefer? You like we just had Nick, we interviewed Nick and talked to him. He loves YouTube. Like he loves doing all this. He set up most of this, but he really loves doing videos, editing videos, and doing YouTube and things like that. But what are some of your go-to lead generation tactics?
Some of my main lead generations, really it's going to come down to my sphere of influence is my main one, which sphere kind of goes hand in hand with social media. I'm constantly showing everyone that I know and that's following me on Instagram or my friend on Facebook what I'm doing on a daily basis, out showing homes, things of that nature. And that's something that I did early on when I first started as well, as an agent that was not producing anything, still put everything on social media. So there was that illusion of Taylor's a really busy guy. He's killing it in real estate. Little did they know I wasn't, but constantly just keeping people up to date with what you're doing, sharing a little bit about your personal self as well. So you're not just only real estate on your platforms, but showing the human element too, because at the end of the day, you have to like the person that you're going to be working with in
Right.
terms of the most important decision, one of them at least, that someone will make.
Absolutely.
So I really like to hit social media quite a bit, keeping in the loop with my sphere of influence, keeping up to date with people, making sure those people that are fans of Taylor Goldenthal, the realtor, know that they're appreciated, whether that's their birthdays, their children's birthdays, inviting them to our client appreciation parties, even if I haven't sold them anything, but they've connected me with people down the line. Just social media is my big one. Open houses, again, I love to talk. It's great to get to meet people, shake hand, fist bump, and just get to know people, see what they're looking for, educate them on the area. Whether you're going to buy a house with me in 1 month, 3 months, 3 years, I don't care. As long as you walk away from our conversation knowing something, feeling more confident in the process, whatever that process might be, whatever it might look like to you.
Yeah, no, that's 100%. Yeah, no, I think that you do a fantastic job at that. I think that something that you've come into maybe within the last 6 months is door knocking.
Yep,
And
door knocking was my third one.
door knocking, I think that just the funniest story ever with Taylor, because it was I think it was like expireds, or
It was doing the expired and terminated campaign.
yeah, it was some kind of door knocking, and I said, Taylor, why don't you try this? And we have Thursday one-on-one calls where basically I'm able to at least grab about 20-30 minutes of each one of our agents' time and talk to them about kind of whatever's going on in their business for that week, based on their goals. So Taylor, I'm like, this is maybe a year in, or
a little while
8
after
months
we
in.
had our talk, I think, and
Right.
I had gotten some transactions under my belt finally, and I was in it.
Yeah.
I knew that this was where I needed to be and wanted to be.
Yes.
By that point, that's
So he goes, yeah, I said, Taylor, have you tried door knocking? Have you tried expired? He was like, I did it once or twice and I just didn't have any luck. And
Yeah.
I'm like, door knocking, you have to do like 30 times before you have
you're
any
planting
luck.
seeds.
Right. And so, like Taylor, now, like kicks ass at door knocking. Absolutely is like goes out and we've been trying to this whole week. It's been raining all week. But I mean, setting up listing appointments, getting buyers, and it works.
It does.
And I, like, for me, I'm always like, I don't want to encourage anything that is going to be wasting time. God knows, like, if I didn't have to drive, I wouldn't drive. I don't like wasting time. But at the same time, there is a script, there is a way, there is a cadence. And I think that you found that through door knocking. And I think it's been extremely productive.
Yeah, it
for
has. I mean, and not only that, you're getting in the reps. I mean, for every conversation you have, you're that much closer
That's correct.
to your next piece of business. And I mean, you're getting more familiar with the area, more people for your database, and just you're owning it. You're being a real estate professional, and just getting those reps in and putting in those hours. It all comes back around.
100%. Okay, so what are some of the go-to, like, tools, gadgets, just like daily items, things that you have? It could be a cell phone holder for your car, but what are some of the things that you've purchased that have really helped you out with your real estate career?
External battery for my phone, so I can keep my phone charged at all times.
Yes.
I've found myself charging my phone in houses that I'm showing before I got that. Yeah, so I got my car charger broke a while back, and
got it.
Yeah. Anyway, external battery for my phone, a measuring tape. Oddly enough, it does come in handy.
Okay.
Honestly, that's probably about it.
Okay.
An app on my phone, Mile IQ, to track my mileage.
Okay, for tax purposes.
For tax purposes, but no, I mean, really, it's just caffeine and a good attitude.
Yeah.
And a phone charger.
Caffeine. Speaking of caffeine, Rowdy, this episode is brought to you by. I'm just kidding.
That was your friend that came by.
Yeah. No, I don't know. She came by the other day, and she works for Rowdy, and she delivered these energy drinks. And I'm not an energy drink person. I just don't think they're good for you.
Yeah.
But these are based off of green tea. And,
oh, nice.
So
I love green tea.
You see me drinking them every Monday
team
morning.
meeting, yeah.
And I've already worked out that morning, but I still drink it. And it's hydrating. And it's a very clean energy. It's very good. So Yeah, maybe next time we can. Maybe not.
No. But anyway,
maybe-
sponsored in part by Rowdy Energy.
yeah. Hopefully one day.
One day.
Hopefully our office. Becca, bring us Rowdy Energy at our office.
I'd love that.
So we do need to get a refrigerator at our office. But speaking of your car, you talked about your car a couple times.
Yeah.
One of the questions that I wanted to ask you is what is one of the craziest things you probably have hundreds, if not thousands, of crazy stories from the hotel industry.
Yep.
But you are starting to rack up some pretty crazy stories in real estate.
Yeah.
Tell me about one of those that happened.
Let me
this
have
week.
a sip of this first.
One of those costly stories.
Yeah, costly story for sure. So oddly enough, it happened on Monday. I was out showing a house to a friend / client of mine, someone I went to high school with, in a really nice neighborhood that I'm not going to name, in Missouri City. Really nice neighborhood. And we were showing a house, and some individual comes storming into the front door, kind of threatening, some unsavory language and so on and so forth, said we were stalking and harassing them.
So you're showing the house.
Yep.
You unlock the door. You're showing the house. And I mean, where are y'all? Where are y'all in the house whenever you hear him come in?
So we were on the second floor and walking across the foyer, actually,
Okay.
overlooking the front door, oddly enough, when this person comes storming in. And it's me and my client, and this guy, really aggressive, kind of threatening, says that he lives there, that we were stalking him and harassing
He
him.
lived in that house?
That he lived in that house. So I'm like, whoa, I'm so sorry. My name's Taylor Goldenthal. I go to pull out like my business card. I'm a realtor. I'm showing the house. This is my client. I'm sorry you didn't know we were. And then at this point, I look at him in the eyes, and I'm like, okay, this guy's not okay.
He's insane.
I mean, for lack of a better word, yeah. And
Yeah.
so he goes and storms out of the house really aggressively. So I go to follow him. My client had her newborn with her at the time. So I'm thinking, God forbid this guy comes back with a weapon. I need to be able to yell at her to barricade herself in a room somewhere, whatever the case may be.
Yeah. Yeah. This is real estate.
Yeah, this is
Welcome to real estate.
Welcome to real estate. So I go and I get out the front door, and I'm about 20 feet from my car. I'd parked out in front of the house, and I see he's in the driveway of the house next door. He grabs a giant, like, decorative stone and starts, like, galloping towards my car. At this point, I'm towards the back of my car.
When you say galloping, was he like a heavy guy?
No, he was a tall, thin guy.
Really?
Yeah, probably about 6'2". And he just launches this thing smack into my windshield. And I'm just like, what the hell? So I pull out my phone because I see him going towards his car. So I get behind his car to go take a picture of his license plate so I could say, hey, insurance, police report,
Right.
whatever the hell's going on.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude almost runs me over. I get out of the way in a hurry. He squeals his tires and just burns off down the road. Get on the phone with the police department. They already know who he is. Dude comes with a record. Oddly enough, I had my stepdad to look him up. He's like actually kind of violent. Came from Pennsylvania with a record, like assaulting a police officer, all kinds of stuff.
Oh, wow.
But anyway, he had a psychotic break again, and he booked it. Cops went out and got my statement. Said that we're just going to add this to the list. We're supposed to bring him back in.
Add this to the list.
Yeah, assaulting a police officer in Fort Bend County, all kinds of things.
Okay.
Yeah, so they. So anyway, the showing ended at that point. Obviously, it was going really
Yeah.
well too. Gorgeous house.
Yeah.
and like probably one of the favorites that we had seen.
Dang.
And yeah,
That ruined it though, huh?
Yeah, that ruined it for sure.
You would think that it would, like, some buyers would be like, that's a sign that this is our house.
Yeah.
And then some buyers are like, that's absolutely a sign this is not our house.
Yeah, it's like, we're done. No thanks. Oddly enough, the house had multiple offers on it. I guess he wasn't there at the time, or he
Yeah.
would. So yeah, long story short, I got my car back today. It's been 2 days. I had a nice rental car or loaner car from the dealership. $1,100 and a new windshield later. That is behind us. Yeah.
It is your own business, so you are going to be writing that off.
I am going to be writing that off.
As a
I
business
checked with my
expense?
accountant, IRS. It should be good to go.
Good grief.
Yeah.
All right. Wait. So what was the other one? The
The other
crazy
one,
story.
yeah. In a development that will not be named by a builder that will not be named, I had a client go under contract for a house. It was lot number 15 in this particular section of this master plan community. Well, they poured the slab while myself and my client were out of town. They started the framing. He goes up to the house the day before I do and says, Taylor, I think they're building my house on the wrong lot. Evidently, there were two lot 15s on the same map the only numbers repeating. So somebody messed up somewhere along the line, but
in the contract meeting, when we sign the contract, we say like this
lot 15 block whatever.
Right. A lot of the builders even have like a map of all of the lots. You put your sticker on there, you take a picture, all that kind of stuff. Like, how did they get that wrong?
I have no idea. Our sticker was on the right lot.
You even put a sticker on the right lot.
And
I know that builder does that.
Yeah. And they started building on the wrong lot. I guess construction had the different lot, thought it was the different lot 15. By the time it all came and went, my client decided he wanted to stay. I was able to knock off quite a bit off the sales price because of that.
I'm sure, yeah.
I think we got the entire lot premium waived. It was like $7,500.
Wow.
Included all of his kitchen appliances and washer dryer as well. So he ended up netting, I think, close to $12,000 when it came down to it.
Good grief.
And then that house now goes for, I think, $50,000 more than it was. And this was November of 2020 we closed.
Yeah.
So, yeah, pretty crazy.
That's insane. That's crazy.
Yeah, nuts. Those are probably my two craziest stories so far.
More to come.
Yeah, more to come. I'm going to have a podcast series next to tell all my stories.
Okay.
No.
So what is it? So with that being said, podcast, what are some of the books, podcasts, YouTubes, audiobooks, whatever, that you feel like have contributed to your real estate career success, things like that?
Yeah, I really liked Atomic Habits. I thought that was really interesting.
Yes.
Just getting your brain to think in different ways, optimization of your time, and just how to really set yourself up for success and kind of reprogram yourself a little bit, both personally and professionally. That was probably my favorite one so far.
All right. Yes. Atomic Habits.
Yeah, that was one of my
James Clear.
Favorites, honestly.
Yeah, this was a good one.
And it's not even real estate specific either. That's what's so good about it.
Yeah, I forgot who recommended this to me. If you're watching this, I'm sorry. But Atomic Habits by James Clear, that was a very good book and really changed, like for me, I don't know if it was in this book or if it was just one of the methods that he talked about, but breaking my workday up into 3-hour segments has really helped me. If you can usually take one or two things from each book or resource, and that's the one that I took from this, was really just breaking down my work day and being more productive in the time that I give myself. Work expands to the time we give it. So if we give it 8 hours, then we're gonna piddle around. We're going to fill that 8 hours with crappy work. But if I only give myself 3 hours at a time, it's going to be good work. Yeah.
It's like that podcast we all listened to last weekend before team meeting. And she was like, I was going in working 12 to 14 hour days. And my boss was like, well, congratulations. What the hell do you do with all that time?
Yeah. Yeah. And then now she condenses it into, 4 or 6 hours for each task, and she's a lot more productive.
Yep.
There's
busy and there's productive, and there's a fine line in between it. But once you're on the right side of that line,
and we try to capitalize on that with the bridge, at the Bridge Group, with showing assistants, with people that put out your signs, with everything else, transaction coordinators. All right. So time machine question. So Taylor is selling multiple millions of dollars of real estate. And that's just in like the first 2 years. And that's barely the first 2 years. You're like right on the edge of 2 years because it was a nightmare getting all of your your continued education in.
Oh man, don't put that off. If you're an agent and you're watching this, your first renewal especially, I had to get all 98 hours done in like 8 days.
Yeah,
that was
Texas,
fun.
It's ridiculous. 98 hours is more hours than it takes to get your license in other states.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
Yeah, so that being said, multi-million-dollar producer Taylor goes back in time to Taylor that has been in this for 3-4 months. What do you tell yourself?
Don't try to reinvent the wheel. For one, just keep it simple. There was a book that we read. Anything worth doing poorly is worth doing. Granted, we don't want to do anything poorly, but just do it. Just do the job. Don't worry about it. Have confidence in yourself, even if you don't have that income coming yet, and really just keep at it. Honestly.
Do you feel like that maybe you struggled with like perfectionism or like trying to have something perfect before you move forward with it?
Definitely perfectionism. I was really good in the hotel game. Ran a great department, great scores, great audits, things of that nature. And being brand new, not having anything. I remember sitting in team meetings. We go over our wins and our losses every week on Mondays, and our wins and lessons. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing everybody share all of their wins, and here I am. I have no wins to share, and for me, I got in my head, I'm not doing something right. I'm not doing things right. So I'd backtrack and try to work on those fine tuning and tinkering and things of that nature rather than just getting out there and getting the reps and doing it.
Yeah.
There's always time to tinker and to fine tune things, but ultimately you have to produce before you to tinker. Yeah, I had nothing to tinker or to adjust really.
Yeah.
So just do it. Get out there and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a good example of that, I would say, would be something like door knocking, right? You know, it is very intimidating, you know, to go out there and knock on doors, even if it's a warm deal. Like we just sold this house for $70,000 over.
Yeah.
It's intimidating to walk on someone's lawn, knock on their door, and tell them, "Hey, look, I just sold your neighbor's house for $70,000 over. You know, let me do the same for you. Have you had thoughts of selling?" And, you know, it sounds easy to say right now, but whenever you do it, it's not. And I think that, you know, a lot of agents, new agents, experienced agents will make the excuse, I just don't feel comfortable like with my scripting.
Yeah.
Go out there and do it. Fumble over your words. You are going to learn how to do it, right? Like
Yep.
you are going to learn how to stand up, and you're going to learn how to walk, and you're going to learn how to run eventually. But unless you go out there and do it, even me and you role playing right
Yeah.
now isn't the same experience as actually going out there and just doing it.
Yeah. It I used to say this in hospitality to my staff. That guest checking in on the other side, especially new hires, that guest that's checking in on the other side of the counter has absolutely no idea what this is supposed to look like here.
Right.
Don't let them see you, and this goes with real estate too. Don't let them see you sweat. At the end of the day, whether you have 50 transactions under your belt or 0, you're still a licensed professional. You still know your stuff better than the average consumer, client, whatever. Don't let them see you sweat. Get an answer if you don't have that answer. I'll find out. I'll let you know as soon as I can. Can I give you a call at this number?
Yes. Yeah.
Just don't let them see you sweat. Have confidence in yourself. And with door knocking, with someone coming into an open house, getting an online lead, whatever the case may be, just, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. You know, like you just hit the nail on the head. If you don't know the answer, and you're not going to know all the answers, I don't know everything about real estate that there is to know, and I never will, because things are always changing. But the thing is that, you know, if you don't know the answer, be confident enough to say, hey, like, I'm going to be very honest with you. That is something I don't know, but I'm going to go ahead and get the answer.
Yep.
I'm going to figure it out. I'll let you know what I find out.
Absolutely.
Easy. That's the easiest thing to say.
And that honesty goes a long way too. Is people can tell when you're bullshitting them or
Yes.
not. You know?
And there's plenty of it to go around. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this has been an amazing interview and interaction. I think that there's been, if you're a new agent, or if you're a struggling agent, or just someone that has been around and needs some fresh ideas, there's been so many like nuggets in this discussion.
Sure.
But last question is, and you can figure this out quickly if you follow Taylor on Instagram, Facebook, any type of social media. But what are your hobbies? What do you like to do?
Yeah.
Just when you're not killing it for your clients, what are you doing?
What am I doing when I'm not killing it for my clients? I love anything food. I love to cook, try new restaurants, a bit of a foodie. Almost went to culinary school actually before I decided.
I can see that. I can see that.
I took culinary classes in high school with a co-op and things, and then I told myself, let me get into hotels instead. It's a little more stable and better work-life balance. Joke's on me. Here I am now. But so anything food, I love that. Jiu-jitsu is a relatively new hobby of mine.
Yeah.
Started that up in October, November of last year. So that's been a lot of fun.
You like it?
I like it quite a bit.
Yeah. You hurt yourself yet?
I actually had my buddy cracked my ribs my very first class. So I was like in crippling pain anytime I tried to move my first 2 months of classes and sparring. So that was fun.
Yeah.
But, that's the only one so far. Again, knock on wood.
That seems like a common injury in jiu-jitsu. I know, like Corey Doris. Corey the other day was helping me, and he's also
Yep.
so his wife Savannah is she was with Celebrity Title, now she's with Patton.
Yeah.
But Corey was like, "Hey, do you want to come and do jiu-jitsu with me?" And I was like, "Hell no! Like, why on earth would I do that with you?" Like, now Corey is what, probably 6'4", 6'5".
6'4", 6'5". Easy.
Yeah, and he was wrapped up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I was like, yeah, I broke like my ribs. I broke 2 or 3 of my ribs.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, I'm not gonna do that with
like,
you.
hell no.
I'm not gonna roll. But at the same time, that shirt you gave me from jiu-jitsu, I wear it every leg day. I feel like it just kind of summons something.
Oh yeah, it does for sure. I think I put something in the fabric.
Yeah. They like cursed it or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm definitely stronger on that day.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
Good deal. So, hey guys, thank you so much for joining us. Taylor, thank you so much for
Thanks
joining
for having me, man.
This was, I mean, so much information. If you're a new agent, struggling agent, an experienced agent that is just kind of getting caught up in the day-to-day, I really hope you enjoyed this. There's so much content in here that can really shake things up in your business. Taylor has done a phenomenal job at the Bridge Group, and continues to do an amazing job for his clients, even in this very chaotic, hectic market. But thanks for joining us. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. We have all of our information down below, as well as follow Taylor on his Instagram, Facebook, and keep up with him. So, hey,
thanks,
Taylor,
Cole.
thanks
Appreciate
so
it,
much
man.
for joining me, man.
Thank you. Yeah, anytime.
Y'all take care.
Take it easy.